Hi, I'm Shannon Gavin Johnson, the Director of Legacy Museum on Main, and this is a brief moment in LaGrange's history. After the establishment of Troup County in 1826, the state of Georgia sent surveyors into the newly acquired territory to begin surveying and dividing it up into land lots. The new settlers formed an inferior court to begin creating the county. Among the court's first tasks was deciding on a location for the county seat. One judge favored Mountville, while another favored the community of Vernon along the Chattahoochee River. The decision was made to locate the county seat between these two communities, near the center. Before LaGrange could be established as the county seat, a town had to be carved from the wilderness. County surveyor Samuel Reed drew a plan for the town, and William Moreland, Major Henry West, and Orrin Watley joined Reed to supervise teams of enslaved men that cleared the town's streets. Near the square, south of present-day Lafayette Square, a crude log courthouse was built. The next year, a more substantial courthouse was built just north of the square. It was replaced in 1830 by a brick courthouse in the very center of the square. This fine brick building would serve as the courthouse for almost 75 years. The property surrounding the courthouse was devoted to commercial and business use. Originally, space for churches was provided off the square. First Baptist Church did not move to the square until 1855. In the early years, there were two taverns located here. Browning's Tavern stood on the west corner of Main Street at the square, and Herring's Tavern was located on the corner now occupied by First Baptist. Unlike modern taverns that are primarily known for serving alcoholic beverages and food, in this era, taverns served as community centers. They provided lodging, meals, and meeting spaces, as well as serving as a post office. In 1923, relying on the long memories of locals, Judge William Weaver Turner created a map of the town as it was in 1860. This map includes the locations of most businesses on the square at that time, including two businesses that would remain for nearly a century: Lehman's Jewelry Store, which opened in 1857, and the Sims House Hotel, which would remain a hotel under a variety of names until the building was destroyed by fire in 1953. Sterling Hall, later known as Truett's Opera House, also appears on the map in 1860. In 1890, two local gentlemen created a small zoo on the square. They exhibited a number of animals, including an owl, sheep, deer, prairie dogs, and even a pair of monkeys over the course of several months. It seems that after they approached the city council with a request for funds to help feed the animals, which was denied, the zoo quickly closed. In 1904, the old brick courthouse and its outbuildings were demolished to make way for a new courthouse. Designed by architect A.J. Bryan, the building was designed as a sister structure to Alabama's Monroe County Courthouse in Monroeville. Now crowned with a new courthouse, LaGrange's streets remained in poor condition. Over the years, locals demanded that the downtown streets be paved, but nothing was done until 1906 when Mayor John Dow Edmondson laid the first brick on the square. That same year, LaGrange Banking and Trust Company opened their new building on the west corner of the South Block, where the Chamber of Commerce Plaza now stands. In addition to housing a bank, it provided valuable commercial space that was occupied by a furniture company and grocery store. Doctors' and lawyers' offices used the space on the two upper floors. On the morning of November 5, 1936, a fire broke out inside the courthouse, and within hours, the fine structure was reduced to a smoking pile of bricks. In the escape, two women lost their lives after jumping out of a window. Many of the county's records, however, were removed from the burning building and now safely reside in the Troup County Archives. With the ruins cleared, the square was planted with grass and a new courthouse was constructed just down the street on Ridley Avenue. Prior to the United States entrance into World War II, discussion about how best to improve the square was had. Efforts to install a fountain were hampered by the war, though they resumed in 1949. The fountain was dedicated later that year before a crowd of tens of thousands of people. To honor the Marquis de Lafayette, the City Council renamed the square Lafayette Square in 1974, and the bronze statue of Lafayette was installed the following year. The Truett Opera House was the last antebellum building on the square. The building had provided space for businesses and offices as well as a performance hall on the third floor since before the Civil War. More recently, the building had been occupied by a Buy-Wise store. It was torn down in 1989 and replaced with Liberty Park. In May of 1994, flames erupted from the old LaGrange Banking and Trust building. It was being used as a discount furniture store. The store had installed a large pink inflatable couch on the roof as an advertising gimmick. The fire department arrived quickly and began to pump thousands of gallons of water to douse the flames, but the building was a total loss. While the cause of the fire was never determined, many locals believed the fire was the work of arsonists targeting the pink couch. The gap in the south block of the square was replaced with the current Chamber of Commerce Plaza that opened in 1997. Between 2016 and 17, another major change occurred on the square when the old Mansour's department store building was demolished to make way for the new Courtyard by Marriott. To learn more about the history of downtown LaGrange, visit Legacy Museum on Main. This has been a brief moment in LaGrange's history.